whether you're playing a solo cation, I think that's the way you say it, solo cation or solo trip or a family trip, we're going to go over some tips. Okay. This particular video is going to highlight when you're traveling with a family or a group. This is important. This particular video is focused on family vacations with children ranging from toddler, teen, tween, teen, young adult. But the focus of this one, we're going to do a few others that highlights different types of group trips, solo trips, and what to do. Now, if you've seen some of our videos recently and posts, it's talked about our group family trip. We did a road trip. It's our first road trip. It was a learning experience when we did this road trip. We're going to do it again because it actually turned out way better than expected. We've watched a lot of movies that talk about road trips and you see the nightmares and are we there yet? Especially when you have kids or 100 bathroom stops. And I was wondering if that's what we were going to experience because our kids range from, a little one that thinks she's a young adult to a teenager. And what I noticed, especially depending on how you travel, I'm just going to go based on our travel experience and we'll dissect it a little bit more in other videos. But this particular trip, what we did, we took a flight from Fort Lauderdale Airport to Washington. No, I'm sorry. We took it to Maryland. We flew into Maryland. And then we did a road trip from Maryland all the way to Georgia. The route we took was we went from Maryland and we hung out in the DMV area. It was really cool to be able to experience that because you can state hop, right? You're in, DC one second. I know DC isn't an official state. We'll go over that in another video. But we're in the Maryland area in Virginia. So it's really cool to be able to do that because when you're from the state of Florida, depending on where you are in the state of Florida, that drive outside of Florida can take you several hours. I'm talking about 10 hours. I know many people have a heavy foot and they're able to navigate out of Florida in less time. But to play it safe, driving the speed limit or even a little under, let's say it takes about 10 hours to get out of the state of Florida. So with this particular family trip that we did, like I said, we flew to Maryland. It was great. After that, we drove through and we went to Cincinnati, Ohio. We stayed in Cincinnati. Thank you for the love. I've been told we're recording this, highlighting what to do, mistakes we made on our family trip, and some pleasant surprises that happened on the way. We also went to Kentucky, which was really great. Was able to hang out with the refined foodie there. She showed us some great places to go. We got a chance to experience a restaurant called Carson's. Highly recommend it. I don't know about you. I had a misconception of when it comes to Kentucky food. I should have thought of it because Kentucky Fried Chicken was birthed out of the state of Kentucky. But the food was full of flavor. It was delicious. The customer service, yes, ma'am, and all the pleasantry that comes with it. It was just refreshing. I really like that Midwest Southern hospitality. And then we made our way to Georgia. So definitely check out some of the videos we post. I'm working right now on creating some more highlights from the trip so you get an idea of what that experience is like, especially if you have never been to the Midwest before. So from Kentucky, we went to Tennessee. From Tennessee, we made our way to Georgia. In between, now keep in mind, we're from Florida, originally from the islands, but from Florida, so warm weather. So we took our spring break vacation to where it was cold. We got a chance to rock some great gear from a brand that we're friends with called I Love You BLK Family. So I Love You Black Family. It was so great for us to color coordinate. We also dressed alike a few times. I love doing that. Surprisingly, my husband is the one who really advocates for us to match. My daughter, on the other hand, she was like, "Do we have to dress in the same? Do we have to dress alike for this entire trip?" Or like, "No, we don't have to, but it'll be great. Walk up in there, all of us dressed alike." So it was cool. I told her, "No, we don't have to do it all the time." But what was really good was when we went to the DMV area, they got a chance to see the Capitol. They got a chance to experience a Bible museum. We learned a lot there. We just drove around. We drove around the DMV area. They're able to see places that they've read about in their history books, which was very important to us. We wanted to be able to let them see part of American history because, well, my husband is American. I'm a naturalized citizen. For those who might not know what that means, that just means I was born in another country and became a citizen of the United States. But my children are American, and there's so much happening when it comes down to changes in the information that's shared in school about American history. It was great to be able to take them through some of the popular sites that they see in their history books, as well as share with them some truths about what's going on in politics. I digress. So we got a chance to go to places. So my husband, he filmed a video called Hands Up, and part of it was recorded in the DMV area. I think I would say about maybe 80% of the video was recorded in the DMV area. So it was really good to be able to show them those places. They're able to see it live and direct. There's a part, I have to pull up the name of it. I wish I could recall right now, but there's a part, it's it's by a pier. Okay. I'm going to try to pull it up while I have you here. And they have statues of soldiers, different branches of the military. So you have an image, a statue of someone who served in the Navy, Army, and all the other branches of the military that's there. It was a highlight in the video. If you've seen it before, Sean does a salute and he's standing by. I think it's Sean and DJ Mystery is standing near those statues. So it's really cool. And so just having that experience was really great. From there, we stayed in Maryland for one night, and then we drove down to, we actually took a drive to Kentucky. It wasn't that long. It was like a 7-hour drive, but we stopped in between, got something to eat, and it was great. During our time in Kentucky, of course, we want to be able to soak up and experience every adventure, but we were there for a short period of time. So that's one thing. Having a road trip like that, it helps you to focus on 1 to 2 places that you want to tackle. Sometimes when you travel to places and you're there for 2 days or 3 days, you have 100 things that you want to tackle. But when it's a short trip, you just want to leave it to maybe 1 or 2. Maybe it's a dining experience, or maybe it's a museum you want to experience. Because when you're doing a road trip, the driver, we have to keep in mind about the driver. We want to make sure the driver is not driving exhausted, or have a team, you have a rotating team depending on who is traveling with you. But in our case, it was 2 adults and 3 children. So we picked out, when we were in the DMV area, we picked out going to the museum and going to eat, resting. Next time we went out on the adventure to Kentucky. The reason why we went to Kentucky first was we wanted to hang out with a refined foodie. And then we traveled from Kentucky to Cleveland. I'm sorry, Cincinnati, Ohio. They had a game there. For those of you who are major league baseball fans, yes, I saw the support in full effect. In South Florida, I don't think I've ever seen that level of support for some of the teams here. Hopefully that changes. But Cincinnati showed up. Cincinnati showed up and showed out for that first baseball game. So the kids, we were traveling from Lexington, Kentucky to Cincinnati, Ohio. Once again, when we were traveling, there was some rush hour traffic, but for the most part, it was a smooth ride. The scenery, oh man, it is beautiful. You're on the road, you're seeing hills. It's amazing. If you've never taken a road trip to the Midwest, you definitely put that on your list of things to do. Please, you definitely want to do that. Now, we got to Cincinnati, Ohio, and it's very hilly. It reminds me of Jamaica because of you're seeing the landscape, you're seeing the hills when you're driving to the homes. It's very narrow. You're going down the hill, up the hill. My son's a math guy. He loves angles. He loves to analyze things like that. And it was just throwing him off. It's like, what is going on here? We're going up the hills, down the hills, and I don't know. I don't know how you guys do it. If anyone is watching this and you're from Cincinnati, Ohio, how do you handle driving in the snow on those hills? Because I mean, the roads were dry when we traveled there, but navigating that and the Airbnb, we're gonna post a video about that. I think I may post it tonight, so definitely tune in and follow the Airbnb we stayed at. This is why having a sister who knows how to research great restaurants and great locations, she did the thing. This was a 3-story Airbnb property in Cincinnati, Ohio. It was gorgeous. I don't know how long they've had it as an Airbnb. Like I said, we're going to post a video tonight, so make sure to follow to see the review. 3 stories. It was beautiful. They came with a washer, a dryer, all amenities. Sorry. All of the amenities were included. It had a garage, which was great because you can't find parking when you're in Cincinnati. I don't know how people do it if they have a party or a get together. It took us a while to find parking. Okay. So I'm glad that they had a garage. We were able to utilize the garage. They had a little, a basement too. I mean, it was 6 of us, and each of us were able to be in that house comfortably. Each floor had a room. So it was really cool. So you had like the living room, and they had a dining room area. You go up the stairs. There were 2 bedrooms on that second floor. And all of the rooms were like master bedrooms. They were huge. So our kids were able to be in one room, my sister in another room, my husband and I were in the top, was on the top floor, and it had a balcony. Oh my goodness. I believe I did post a picture, so make sure when you check out the page, you're going to see a picture of us, and it looks like a mountain in the background, high rise. It was a gorgeous view. It was gorgeous in the evening time, and it was gorgeous in the nighttime. When we go back to Cincinnati, that I'm guaranteeing, well, you know what, let me not say that. That is a place we want to stay at a second time, because if you've traveled and been to Airbnbs, some of these Airbnbs, you're like, how did you get approved? How did you even get on the list? I am not saying, like, some Airbnbs discouraged me from going, but this one gave me some hope. So thank you, Refined Foodie, for connecting and planning that out, because it was great. One thing, apparently Cincinnati, Ohio, there are a lot of people from the Caribbean who are there. That was something I didn't know. I didn't know that. I didn't know Jamaicans were in Cincinnati, Ohio. But I understand it now because it reminds you of Jamaica. It reminds you of the island. So I wanted to try at a Caribbean restaurant just to see how the flavors taste, because sometimes people say, oh, yes, this is a Jamaican restaurant, a Caribbean restaurant, but the flavors are not hitting it. We experienced that in South Florida as well. I'm like, just take down the sign and just say you are a Caribbean-inspired restaurant, because there's nothing in this dish that tastes like Jamaica or any island. But anyhow, I wanted to taste it, but my husband was like, look, we're from South Florida. Why are we going to search for a Jamaican restaurant in Cincinnati? We'll do that on the next trip, because we're only going to be there for a day. And I get it. I was like, okay, we're there for a day. Well, when we come back, but the Refined Foodie recommended, there's this particular, it's like a hot dog sandwich that they make. It's a signature hot dog flavor in Cincinnati. We were searching all over for it. Now, we're from South Florida. A lot of restaurants close really late. Clearly, that was not the case when we went to Cincinnati. It was like last call for food orders at 9 o'clock at one place, or the other one at 8:30, or I was like, whoa, with this huge Major League Baseball happening in your area, I thought these places were going to close late, but apparently they didn't. So we thought, okay, after We drove around. We'll be able to indulge in this signature sandwich or signature hot dog, which I forgot what the proper name is. I'll look it up. I'll send a picture. I'll let the refined foodie know, hey, send us some clips if she goes back soon so you guys can see it. But anyways, we end up finding this one location who's we were able to order it through Uber Eats. It wasn't the same experience because we went to an actual restaurant, but the restaurant said, sorry, we're not taking any more orders. We're like, oh my gosh, we're from out of town. That did nothing. But anyways, at least the views in Cincinnati, if you've never been, oh my, gorgeous views. You have to, when you go, make sure you're staying in a property that has a balcony or a high rise, or go to the top floor of a hotel so you could look out and see Cincinnati. Gorgeous. What else did we do? Okay, so from Cincinnati, we went to Lexington, Kentucky. There is one of our team members here. She's an actress. She's featured in the Situation Lounge. Her name is Lydia. She's from Lexington, Kentucky. Unfortunately, she wasn't in the area when we went. She's in another state right now. So when you see her, she plays Tina in some of the episodes that we have on the Situation Lounge. And she's from Lexington. We went to a restaurant. It was we did brunch there. It was a Hispanic owned restaurant. It was delicious. What I love about it, I love hot chocolate. The only challenge is, because I'm from the Caribbean, I'm familiar with like organic, like taking that real, piece of chocolate and then grind it up, and grater it and then make the hot chocolate. It's not like this processed syrup or just this powder. And they have this hot chocolate called abuela hot chocolate. Oh, that was delicious. Now my kids are not used to that version of hot chocolate, the real deal. So my daughter wasn't a fan of it. My son liked it. My other daughter was like, what is this? I was like, man, next time I'm not giving y'all anything, because I could have had 2 full cups. But they play around in it when they don't like something else. Like, man, I couldn't even take over that hot chocolate. But yeah, we're going to share some pictures of there. You know what? While I'm talking, I should be posting. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to post it here. You know what? I don't have it on my computer so you guys can see it. But after this live, I'm going to post a few of them because I have it on my phone. And if I post it now, it's going to end the live or pause the live. This is a little different. So on another platform, I'm able to have myself live here and show you. What I'm going to do is maybe next time I'll go live using OBS. That's a software that you can use. You can share your screen. I'm going to do it that way so you guys can see video clips and pictures from our road trip. All right. So I went to Lexington, Kentucky. On our way from Lexington, we went to Tennessee. The drive from Lexington to Tennessee, it is a scenic route. It's beautiful. Now, many homes are in acres. They're in acres of lush greenery. So you have this like one little house and just miles, acres of just lush greenery. I'm like, oh my goodness, this reminds me of home. One day, when we retire, I want to be able to have like a house with acres of land. So our children and our children's children can enjoy. They can come to their grandparents' house and run around the yard, maybe even build a few homes on it, But that's what it was like going to Tennessee, seeing the mountains and just experiencing that was really great. Now, I wouldn't travel that route at night. I'm so glad the way my husband planned out the trip, it was traveling during the daytime, because here where we're located, we're used to seeing, even in like areas where there's not a lot of high traffic, we're still seeing some light poles. Okay. I didn't see any light poles on some of those roads that we're traveling, and the roads were narrow, but the scenery was good. Definitely when you're planning a road trip, have most of your driving time done during the day, because many places don't have it. Now, going from Tennessee to Atlanta. Wait, what did we do in Tennessee? We stopped in Tennessee. I'm trying to remember, where did we go for a restaurant? I think we're too tired. Yeah, maybe that's what it was. We were too tired. I don't remember. Wow, I don't. Oh, I'm sorry. We went to it's like a main street in Tennessee. What was interesting about that is like every location had music. You had rock bands, country bands, and other bands like at every single stop because there was so much traffic on this main street. I don't remember if it's called Main Street. It probably is called Main Street, but that's what the concept of it was. The last time we went there was, I believe, it was before my daughter was born. So my oldest is like 14, so it has to be like about 15 years ago. Is the last time we went to Tennessee, and it did not look like that. There were places that people went and they did karaoke, and we actually participated in karaoke, which that was an experience in itself because I didn't know you had to pay to participate in karaoke. I was like, what? So you pay the DJ like $1 or something. Maybe it was $5, and then they play the song. You go on stage. I did it. I did the Tennessee. A lot of artists get their break. Hey, maybe there was an executive in the room that would have given me a chance. I don't know, but I did it for fun, and it was great. But this time around, we went to Tennessee with our kids. We stayed in the car. We didn't go walking because it was so crowded. I was like, is there a game happening? Is there a concert? What is going on? Literally, when you're going into this main street, there was a sea of people. And from a distance, I was like, are those people down there? Because of where we were when we're driving into the area, it was so crowded. I was like, oh my gosh. And as we got closer, it was like, yes, the hundreds of people were on the street. Is there a Taylor Swift concert? What is happening here? So as we're driving, people had their cowboy hats, cowgirl hats. They had their boots on. I was like, man, next time I should come prepared. I should have brought some boots to rock in Tennessee. But because we thought it was going to be cold, we were bundled up in like thick hoodies, okay? And next time we plan, we're going to make more adjustments as far as the outfits we wore. Because a little thing happened in the beginning of our trip. And when we traveled to Cincinnati, the goal was to wash the clothes that we wore prior to us arriving in Cincinnati. So we have clean clothes, travel with clean clothes as we navigate to Tennessee. Unfortunately, that washer was not working. So now here it is. We had wet clothes that were not fully dry, and we need to get to our next destination. So that's why we didn't have other clothes to change into, because we were traveling with wet clothes, because the other property we stayed at, the washer wasn't fully working. So that's for another video, what to plan for. Now, when we went to Tennessee, drove through the area, we were hoping to be able to get out. But, once again, that's another thing when you're planning a vacation. Take a look at the schedule of the area you're going to see, are there any games happening? Are there any concerts happening? Because if you want to enjoy certain areas and there are major games or major concerts, there's going to be an influx of people in that area. So that means you're going to have trouble finding parking. You're going to have trouble maybe finding, or maybe the wait time at restaurants are going to be really long. So I believe what we did, I think we just ordered, I don't remember if I think we just ordered something light and went to the restaurant. Went to the hotel and just ate it there. I think so. I think that's what we did. Because I really don't remember which restaurant we went to in Tennessee, and I doubt we did. I know we went in Lexington, Kentucky, and when we drove in, did the whole sightseeing thing. We just probably got some snacks and stuff there was a Publix. So if you're from South Florida, you're familiar with Publix, and they had a Publix there. So we just got cereal, fruits, water, things like that. So that way the items we purchased at Publix, that's what we did. Yeah. The items we purchased at Publix, we're able to have it as part of breakfast and on to the next location, because the next trip was going to be to Stone Mountain, Georgia. Now, when you travel and everybody has a different diet, when you're planning it out for road trips, you have to keep that in mind. So for me, I don't eat a lot of meat. I don't mind eating meat. It's just, that's where I am right now. I prefer salmon, chicken sometimes, not all the time. When I do eat chicken, I predominantly eat like wings. And my husband is a meat eater. Of course, the kids are going with the flow. And depending where we go, they don't have a lot of options. So when you're going on a road trip, you have to factor that in on if there's anyone on the trip with a certain diet. Now, I'm flexible. I'm not like, oh, I'm a hard vegan or vegetarian. It's just I don't like to eat a lot of meat. And when you travel to the Midwest, they're known for the barbecues, okay? And they're known for the meat. And I'm like, is there any salmon? Can I have a salad? Oh, you know what? This is why I forgot about the restaurant I went to Tennessee. Is because that restaurant didn't have many things for me to eat or that I wanted to eat. It was a lot of ribs, brisket, and stuff like that. And I was like, we've already had that. I like to switch up what I eat instead of eating the same thing every day. And I remember the guy who was taking our order, he was like, ma'am, are you going to eat something? I was like, what about your baked beans? How's the coleslaw? So that's why I totally forgot about the restaurant in Tennessee, because I didn't really eat much from there. But yeah, something to keep in mind when you're planning. I forgot, I'm going to post some pictures from that restaurant. It was nice. The staff was nice. It was cool. I ended up going after my family ate a meal, because all I had was the baked beans. They had a tropical smoothie, which we have a tropical smoothie in South Florida, which was cool. I would have preferred trying somewhere else, but it was a close thing. I just felt like I wanted some fruits. I wanted some vegetables. I wanted a smoothie. So they had a tropical smoothie. I ended up ordering there. So I felt good. I was like, okay, I felt some sense of normalcy in my routine, my diet. Well, I can't even call it diet because it's not an official diet, but just I wanted a smoothie, okay? I didn't want any more meat. So fast forward, got to the hotel. It was really good. Now we have this thing, when you're traveling with a big group, it's 5 of us. So we travel with a blow-up bed, because some hotels, when you get 2 beds, they have a pull-out sofa bed, and others don't. They may have a couch. So the good thing is my youngest child, she's still small. So, the other 2, they're tall, but we have this thing where, okay, on this road trip, we're rotating who sleeps on the blow-up bed, okay? In the event we go to a property that doesn't have an extra pull-out bed or so, because to have 2 separate rooms when you have kids, they're not old enough to do that right now. So we don't feel comfortable with that. And if the property doesn't have an adjacent room, that means 2 rooms side by side with a door that has a lock, but a door that leads in from one of the rooms to the next. If we're not able to book that, then we all have to be in one room. It is what it is. So we navigated with that. The kids were okay. They remember that, it's this person's turn today because I did that on Monday. They remember, okay? So just making sure to pack extra sheets, have, the pillows. So one suitcase was really for the blow-up bed, the sheets, blanket, pillows, and that's a lot. So this is not a paid sponsorship with Southwest, but I'm going to give Southwest a shout out on this when it comes into traveling, because we're able to get a free check bag. So each of us, we had our bag that we went on to the travel bag, carry-on bag, and we checked the bag. So one bag was solely for the purpose of the sleeping items and the big thick jackets for areas that were cold. So other things to think about when you're doing vacation planning with a big group or family. This particular video is focused on traveling with family. When you're a family and you have kids, would be a blow-up bed. Even if you have a home to stay in or stop by. For example, when we're in Kentucky, we're able to stay by my sister's home. Don't assume people are going to have, going to be able to accommodate you as much as they want you to stay. They're probably doing their best. You don't know what their living arrangement is. So I just believe having an extra blow-up bed just in case is a great idea. I have to wrap it up. I have a 3:00 We're going to check out a space. We have a show coming up, and I'm going to be checking that out soon. But I wanted to come on here and just share with you some tips just about the journey first, of what we experienced, which overall it was great. I recommend traveling with cash. Okay, do a combination of cash or a card that is not connected to your main account. That's what we did. So I know like Capital One, they have this thing where you have a digital card. So if you're making online transactions, use that digital card because it's not connected to your not connected to your main account. Because if something were to happen, let's say you get it's lost, it's stolen, sometimes it takes anywhere from 3 to 5 days to get a replacement card, and you don't have that luxury when you're traveling. But when you have a separate bank card or credit card, I would say use a credit card, but just a separate card with a debit or credit card from your main account, you can use that for rentals. You can use it for transactions. You don't have to worry about, oh gosh, what if somebody is shady and takes my information? You're not locked out of your actual main account. Um, and then cash. Okay. Definitely want to travel with cash because when you're going to all these different restaurants, when you're doing a road trip or traveling on a whole, you don't want to be swiping your card everywhere you go. That's a ton of people getting access to your information. And if you have unknown transactions, the going through the whole fraud process is challenging. So that's it for now. Make sure to stay tuned. Thanks for joining us here at TFG365 Guide as we talk about a healthy work-life balance. Sometimes when money is tight, you still have to find creative ways. So whether you're in a tight budget or you come into some serious money, make sure a work-life balance is peppered in. If it's not once a week, once a month, a quarter, do something big a year, but you have to switch it up, okay? Because we've found that doing the same thing every day or just always grinding to plan and prep for the future is exhausting. It's boring. It robs you of your joy. Plan something, even if it's lunch, with a friend, a walk in the park that's free, or maybe a big luxurious cruise. Just do something. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in again. Make sure to follow for some more. We're going to post some more tips, post some highlights, and we're going to come back live more often. But thank you again. Take care. Have an amazing day. And if it doesn't feel amazing, try your best to make it. Have a great one. God bless.